Hi everybody, welcome back to Smoky Hill Bonsai. It's been a while since I've made a few videos, coming off the COVID-19 deal and well, I don't know, maybe a resurgence of it. I don't know what's going on, but between that and everything else going on in the country, I just really didn't feel like making too many videos. Not only that, if you remember back in one of my previous videos, I had talked about all the work that we wanted to do in the backyard this year in the way of working in our garden and all the little different landscaping things we wanted to accomplish this year. Well, we kind of have a change in plans. We are now actually looking more at moving to a new house, so we're kind of in the process now of, instead of continuing on with what we have, we're now just trying to get things prepped to sell the house. So, there's always all those little projects around that you keep putting off, thinking you'll get to them one day. Well, that day is here, and we need to focus on getting all those little things done. But there's one bonsai project that I really wanted to get done today. We were expecting kind of overcast, rainy weekend. I think tomorrow is, again, supposed to be rainy. Today was a little more sun than I thought we were supposed to have. But the project that I really want to get done today is I need to actually try to do a repot. Not really the traditional repot of going in and kind of working with the root system. What I need to do is kind of an emergency repot where I just pull a plant out of the container that it's in and slip it into the other pot with as little root disturbance as possible. So my process of thinking about repotting in the springtime is if the tree needs to be repot. I don't really schedule repots. As long as there's still plenty of water, percolation water, I feel, is getting down into the soil. I'm just basically letting those go because I want the root system to continue to grow and expand, and also allow the tree to grow well right now too. So what happened was I had several trees that were marked for repot. So I pulled those out at the proper time, repotted them, but I left everything else healed into the ground the way I heal it in for the winter. And it wasn't until much later that I pulled the pot out of the mulch and realized that the wooden container was really rotten. And at first I thought, I think I can make it through the season in that pot. I'll just be careful with it. I don't have a lot of reason to move the pot around much, but it's continued to deteriorate, and I think before it becomes a problem, before I find that it has broken down, I want to go ahead and try to remedy that today. And we'll take advantage of the fact that we're gonna have some overcast days and some rain coming up. Here we are, it's the summer solstice today, so we got the longest day of the year today. The temperatures are gonna be a little bit better than they have been. We've been in the upper 90s for the last couple weeks. It's not unusual here in central Kansas to have that kind of weather, but I feel like we didn't get the rain that we normally expect in the springtime. And then on top of that, it seems like our 90-degree days were probably a little, we strung together many more consecutive days of hot, dry temperatures and some wind. So everything's kind of set back, struggling a little bit. This will be a welcome drain. I hope we get it. They're talking about some severe stuff. Obviously, we don't want anything doing any damage. Then of course, if we're expecting hail, I will come out here and move all of the trees underneath the bench and get at least some sort of protection from them. Back to the project for today. I want to take a pot or a tree out of a pot and just slip it back into another one, as little root disturbance as possible. The tree that we're working on today is a crabapple. It's been in the pot for I think it's been 5 years now. I'm kind of in the process of just letting it grow. Okay, so plans are always changing. I don't know if as I was filming this, if it picked up my phone actually started ringing. I forgot to shut off the volume of that. But it was my dad. Uh, one of my hives swarmed, is in the process of swarming right now, and the swarm is actually in a tree that I might be able to get to. So what I'm gonna do is probably put this project on hold for a minute, grab the bee suit, run out to the farm real quick and see if I can't capture a swarm real fast and then get back to this project. I'm gonna grab the camera, take it along with me, and maybe we'll throw a little swarming video in there too if they're still there when we get there. All right, stay tuned. Okay, we made it out here, and here indeed is the swarm of bees. Let me flip this around, see if I can show you. So we're gonna try to get these caught up. Amelia's gonna help me here. Are you gonna help?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I'm gonna get some more shavings.
So the queen's gotta be in there somewhere. Right. Okay, so here, back off, Amelia, please. Here, can you see him? Can you get in there and see him? This is Amelia. She's my little beekeeping partner today. The queen's got to be up in there somewhere. So this is actually the probably out of the hive that we tried to prevent the swarm from the other day, and obviously we didn't get to them in time. But I'm gonna go ahead. Go ahead and get my jacket pulled up, and the other day when I was working, I ended up with 2 stings in my left hand and about 8 in my right hand. So while the swelling is still going down, I'm gonna go ahead and wear my gloves for this and see what happens. See if we can get these bees caught up.
Camera.
Okay. All right. So I got this snipped off here. I'm gonna pass this camera off. I'm gonna pull another frame out of there. And then I'm just gonna try and knock them off into there.
They're getting riled up. Oh, here they come.
All right, so I'm gonna take a good look here.
Now they're hangry.
Yes, they are. You better get back some.
They really are hangry. Stop being hangry.
I'm gonna try to get a good look here and make sure the queen is not on here. All right, let me see the camera again.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back to Facebook Live. I was able to get that swarm caught up and put in that little nuke box that I had laying around. It was kind of there for this reason. I took some resources out of the other hive there and put in there. So there's a couple frames of brood and a couple frames of honey and some nectar on that. So that's what we have right now to work with. So that's what we are using. We're going to secure this little nuke box down to the table that it's sitting on, and then we'll round up another brood box and everything we need, and then we'll get them moved over. So what's funny is last Wednesday I had 2 thriving hives. I thought I needed to split them. So I split the one I call the West Hive, and then I believe it swarmed. So earlier in the week I had a swarm also. We didn't catch that one. I've got some video. I might insert that video here real quick in here. And then because of all that, we found queen cells in the other hive, and then I'm gonna get stung in a minute. So the East Hive, we split that on Thursday. Well, then I was able to secure another split Thursday also. So here it is now, Saturday evening, and I went from 2 hives to 5 hives. So, this one get me. So we'll see how we can make these work. We'll get them healthy, fill them up, and see what happens. Okay, thanks for taking that break and running out there real quick. That was kind of fun. That was the first swarm I've ever had the opportunity to try to catch. Just to kind of recap real quick, I have a couple hives out at my parents' place. I've got some other videos that I've done with those. Earlier in the week, I suspected that the population was getting rather large and they were probably going to swarm. On Thursday, I was able to acquire another split, and I was taking them out to the farm, and while I was there, one of my hives was swarming. I'm pretty sure it was my hive. There are wild honeybee nests in the area, and so we didn't know exactly for sure, but I'm pretty sure it came out of mine after we opened up and inspected the hives. And then so then that evening I went back and then performed a split on the other hive that I know it hadn't swarmed because there was a good queen in there. I did find swarm cells, and so then we split that night. But as a brand new beekeeper who's still learning and still trying to figure things out, I probably didn't take enough resources out of the hive. Probably didn't remove enough bees, and the process probably was far enough along already. So I didn't prevent the swarm, but I did catch it. So I'm pretty sure that came out today. So anyways, let's go ahead and get back to the task at hand and see if we can't repot this. Basically what I'm working on is removing, I'm just gonna try and lift this or probably take the rotten box off of this tree, and then I'm gonna try and slip it into a fresh box. So let's see if we can get that done. Seeing how bad this is. So what I'd like to do is I'm gonna use my pry bars and stuff and take it apart. I've got a couple other boxes I've had and they're still in really good shape. So I'm gonna just kind of clean these out here real quick. I think this is the better one. And got some additional tools here. I've got my old tie-down wires in here still. I'm going to take those out. And then this box is solid and it will hold the tree until we are ready to do an actual repot on the tree. Probably next year. We'll see. Hopefully this root ball stays intact. I'm going to gently take the box away from the root ball and try to slide it into the box. I've got a couple extra tools here that I'm going to maybe help slide it into the box. Okay, so I'll move this out of the way. And I think I can turn this around here so you can see. Looks like I do have a good healthy root system in there. There we go. So now I assume I'm going to have the bottom of this tree is probably going to be anchored. Let's see what we got. Okay. There's the tie down wire. Got my wire cutters here. I'll just snip that there, straighten it out. Ooh. I've been dealing with bees a lot, and all of a sudden I got a wasp flying around here. I'm pretty sure if that wasp comes after me, I'll probably edit that out of the video. Okay, so that's for my hold my drainage screen intact. And again, this time of year, I don't want to disturb the roots any more than I absolutely have to. I see that I've got holes in there I have to fill with soil, but it looks like I got a nice cover of mycorrhiza going on there. The root system looks good. I'll get those holes filled. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take a couple pieces of wire and I'm going to just kind of stick them in there to help me to know where those holes are that I need to fill. Okay, so I'm going to quickly wire in my screens. So just make a little staple like that. Push it through the hole, and then that one's locked in. I'll make another one. Basically, we're making some Mickey Mouse ears. On that. So those ears will kind of hold the screen in place, and then the tabs go right through. Fold them over, and they set there just fine. Let's see. A couple more real quick. So some Mickey Mouse ears. Down through the screen, down through the drainage holes, fold the tabs over. Okay. So I'm just gonna hold this up over the deal and see if it will fit in there. You know what, I think it is gonna go in. I've got a little soil here. I'm just putting a little soil in the bottom there. There's a little extra lava rock in there, but I just want to make sure that it kind of sets in there all right, and the new roots don't set right back down on some bare wood. I'm not sure if that really matters or not, but it makes me feel better to do that. So what I'm going to try and do is take this scraper knife and just kind of use it to help guide it in and tuck it all into place. And then once I do that, if I have gaps around the side, I'll fill those with soil as well. Since there's so much root system intact, and I'm not going through trying to disturb it or break it up, I'm not going to put any tie down wires in here. I think it's going to fit tight enough. So here we go. Let's see if we can get that in. Well, be darned, I think we did it. I didn't bring as much soil out with me as I thought I did. So I'm going to run back to the garage, and I'm going to get some more soil so I can try to work them down into those holes we had. Okay, so I can fill a big air pocket right there. So I'm just going to put some soil on it. And I'm going to try to work that in. And again, I'm only going to try and use my chopstick to fill the void and not push through any other of the root system. But I will be a little firm around the edges just to make sure I'm getting it all. See, that feels good. That feels good right there. I think we got that. Now we have one more right here. Yeah, see? I can fill that whole cavity right there. Open it up some. I'm going to put plenty of extra soil there. I'm going to get it down in there. There we go. So see how so I think we got it there. My toothpick, which was easily able to penetrate that air hole there, I filled it with 2 or 3 handfuls of soil and chopsticked it in, and I think we're good. So here's the crabapple. We have a new box for it. I don't think we disturbed anything too bad. And then we'll give it a really good watering. We'll let that set in a protected area for the next couple days. And then when we are ready, we'll do a little pruning on it. It's a matter. So what you can look forward to coming up soon is a video on how I decided to treat the deadwood on these trees and cypress pruning. So we'll keep an eye on this plant and make sure this was successful and the right way to deal with this. Again, just to cap this off, I didn't intend to repot this plant this year. That's why it didn't come out of winter holding earlier, and it stayed healed into the mulch pile, and that is part of the reason I didn't see how bad the container was to start the season off with. And then once I did see it, I thought maybe it would make it through the season, but I have decided that it couldn't. So here it is in a new pot. We'll water it in, keep an eye on it. I hope this video was kind of fun to watch, a little exciting there in the middle with the unexpected bee swarm, and also do a follow-up video on that swarm, let you know how that's doing. And I sure enjoy those bees. And when I originally set out to do this channel, I thought you know, bonsai would be the main subject that we tackle, and then other little horticulture related items around the yard and stuff. And the bees have just really become a really passion of mine. I think I've learned a lot this year. Like I said, I'm still brand new at the beekeeping, so I'd like to share that with you as I learn more about taking care of the bees, and still learning a lot to take care of bonsai too. So I think we're going to have a lot of stuff to prune coming up here real soon, and I hope you come along. So I'll get this tree watered in. I will pick up my tools and my mess and the old rotten pot, get my water bottle picked up, and then we'll put everybody to bed for the night. If you enjoy this video, please like it, and then subscribe to the channel, and I will continue to keep you updated on the bonsai trees and the bees and other horticulturally interesting things going on around town. Until next time. Okay, so here's what we discovered when I got out here today. One of our hives must have swarmed. And here they are, everywhere.
Flying in circles. That big wad's going?
Yep.
Yeah, they're up here.
I don't know if this is going to show up in the video or not, but there goes our swarm of bees right there. Yeah, I think so.
They're gonna go away, aren't
Yeah. They found a tree or a cavity or something somewhere.